Hello, how are you? In this video, I'll be doing pixel art again after a few years. I don't remember when exactly was the last time that I did it, probably 3 years ago. If you didn't know, one of the first videos I have on this channel, a random speed paint of mine, is me doing pixel art, so I guess I wanted to revisit it after 3 years. Holy shit, it has been some time. So, I'm doing this because I don't know. I don't even know how I got this idea in the first place. I was just sitting, staring at my screen, probably editing a video, and then that just popped up, like that one video I have made 3 years ago, and that's how I got here, I guess. So, you will see me do pixel art. In Krita there is a preset canvas for pixel art. There are also pixel art brushes, which now that I think about it, I only use this one brush and I don't even know why. I didn't even try out the other 2 brushes. I should have. Maybe I'll have to make this again. I do want to, and I will get into that in a bit, but I didn't even experiment with those. I have to figure out what they are and what they're used for. So, the thing for this, right? I have done pixel art in the past and whatnot, but there is a specific pixel art that really inspires me for my own pixel art, that I want to like sort of achieve that sort of look for it. And that is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, specifically Explorers of Sky, even though like the whole... I say specifically Explorers of Sky because that one is like the most complete version of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, specifically the 2D ones, because I know that there is like, what is it called? Super Mystery Dungeon, I think, but that one is like already 3D, and that one is a whole nother thing, okay? I'm talking about the art of the first few games. I think that there was Red and Blue, Darkness and Time, and then Explorers of Sky. I think, I am unsure of that, I will not say anything for certain. Like, Time and Darkness and the Sky are the same thing, just Sky has more stuff, so I will talk about that one. And the art in that game is just so amazing. I don't think I've ever seen pixel art better than that. That one is like the peak of what I wish to achieve. It has so much emotion, and just the way that they make landscapes is so vivid, and just the world building is just so perfect. And I really wanted to sort of achieve that look. I don't think I have done it with this illustration though. I will definitely have to make more if I want to achieve that, and I think that I do in fact want to achieve that, so I guess you can look forward to me making more of these at some point in my life. So, the concept you see here is just 2 girls in a pond with lots of leaves, because a lot of the art in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, it really focuses on landscapes, so I wanted to like include a background, that's for sure. And what I went with, since I was going for greenery, I didn't want to go this time with Cheryu again, so I started thinking about my OCs, like which one have I not drawn in a while? And then I started thinking and I remembered Carmen. How could I forget my girl? I love her. And I don't think I have ever mentioned her story before. Have I? I have no idea what I said in the past and what I haven't, so I guess I'll tell you now. The synopsis, I guess, like the basics of basics. So, Carmen is a girl that ends up involved with some mafia stuff and like the illegal D's activities. If you don't know what the illegal D's are, they are not the D's that you are thinking of. You get your mind out of there. We are not talking about that now, little Johnny. Anyways, and the illegal D's, just think of a word that starts with a D, and that is illegal to do. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that here. I honestly, I could just search it up, like, what am I allowed to say on YouTube and whatnot, but I don't know. Like, I've seen videos where they talk about it, but, like, I'm not doing a formative video, so I don't know if Great. Just horses galloping across the street. Because why wouldn't they, right? I live here, so of course, let's just get our horses out. I don't even know if I'll leave this in the video. But what the fuck? Anyways. Like, I'm not doing an informative video, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so I will just say illegal D because I find it funny. I cannot lie, so... and she, like, finds out that this whole group is doing very bad stuff to women and doing the illegal tease where they take women places for stuff, right? And she wants to end that, so she forms an own plan of her own. I mean, if you have an own plan, it is your own plan. What the fuck am I even saying? Anyway, she gets herself a plan set up to stop this whole thing, and she starts working on it. And in the process of that whole thing, she meets another girl who needs her help for something. And she knows that she can get something in return because they look a lot alike. So she sends this one girl out on a mission to impersonate her in situations where she cannot go, but she still needs to be present. And here we have the two Carmens, the real Carmen and the fake Carmen. They have some differences, and I'm pretty sure that you know very well who the fake Carmen is because it's not a secret. So it's very easy to find out who she is. So if you know, you know, and if you don't know, then I guess you don't know, and maybe someday you'll find out. How? I have no idea because I still haven't figured out how am I going to tell all these stories that I make, and I don't know if I ever will figure it out. So anyways, that's the basics of the story of Carmen. So here I am starting off on the background, as you can see. And I always start with backgrounds when I'm making illustrations that have backgrounds because I need to set the mood up for the whole picture. Sure, I can imagine what it's going to look like, but if I have the background before me, I know exactly what the lighting is looking like and what the environment is and how it will affect the characters that are in it. So I knew that from the start I would be painting, like I would be choosing my own colors for this. So I really had to think on how I was going to make things, because here I can't just blend anything out and whatnot because I have to really choose where and what I'm going to do, because Pixelart is a small canvas, so like each pixel you will be able to see, right? Of course, that's the whole thing, right? Pixel art is that you can see the pixels in the picture. So I have to be really intentional with where I'm putting each thing and how I'm blending them out. So okay, we got that out of the way, so now we're here. And I knew that I wanted to make this very colorful because the art in the Pokemon series, it has lots of color, but in a way that makes it very real and very believable. So I didn't know how I was going to achieve that, so I was just like drawing it out. Also, making backgrounds, like I'm not a person that is able to draw leaves. Like I should learn how to draw plants in general because I actually don't know. Like every single time I try to draw plants, they just don't look real or anything, and they are not believable at all. Like you look at them and you think, I'll draw this, and unfortunately no. I just don't know how to draw plants, so I should learn how to draw them at some point. But Pixelart makes this very easy because everything looks cartoony. And my god, was it easy to draw these plants, and I am in love with drawing now like forest or plants, landscapes in Pixelart, so that's great. Anyways, I was really just like throwing colors on this. I knew that I wanted it to be green. Like I had the purple outlines the way I always do, which in the end I was going to change the color of my line art, but I actually forgot, so that's something that I can fix up in the future, I guess. Anyways, so since I knew that I was like going for purple in line art, and I knew, well, since we're doing like a green background, purple and green contrast each other, so that's going to be good. Except that I am using a desaturated dark purple, so I might as well use a bright green. Except the parts are in shadow, those are then changing colors, because that's how I usually add my colors, right? I change the color of the shadows and add some like highlights here and there, or things that are reflecting onto the shadows, just to add some effect on them. For that I use blue and purple to add some more color in, while still making it look like very cool toned, you know, since I'm using already like a sort of too cool toned line art. I might as well like reflect that in the shadows and make then the highlights a lot warmer. So for the highlights I'm ending up using yellow and orange, and since they have their own color palette, like the real Carmen is very bright pink while the fake Carmen is more of a reddish pink. To blend those into the background, I grabbed the green from the background itself and added it on top of them, then multiplying it to make the green look darker and whatnot. I lower the opacity of that, and then later on I change it again, because then I start painting, right? I add like some blushing, and then I add some shadows to make it blend in with the background, making it like more purple and blue and whatnot. Trying to keep in mind the way that I usually do from the color wheel, since one is like more reddish and I want to add some purple, I go for like a pinker hue, and since the other one's more pink, I go for more purple, and sort of do that stuff just by like going further in the wheel from their color into the color that I want, just so that it blends in better with the rest of the illustration. And the hair, I at the beginning added too much highlight, so I end up later on picking like a color in between the brightest part and the normal hair color, and like adding that in between just to blend it out a bit better. And after that I will add another multiplier layer on top of it, because it starts looking too bright in contrast with the background in itself and just looking too out of place. So I add another green on top, and I start like sort of adding some depth around them to make them look more 3D, even though it's a very 2D illustration, being very pixelated and whatnot. It's just so that I could carve out more of those shadows, like the back part of the hair I make darker with that green, and like I add some shadows like to the arms, and I don't know, like that sort of stuff, just to make the whole thing a bit more believable that they're in this whole environment. And after that I put the same thing that I always do, which is a bunch of overlays with different colors in them, just to make the whole thing more colorful. It was a lot of painting for this. I had to be very intentional before I put each pixel, but I also didn't want to limit myself to that, and I just went in with it as well. And if something looked out of place, I like brought myself back to reality and reminded myself, oh yeah, I have to be intentional with this whole thing, because you can see each pixel. So then I'd have to erase and put each thing where I wanted it to be. And I guess that's it. They're both Lotus girls in this, and that's very cool. I haven't drawn Carmen in so long, and I don't even know why. I don't know, I love her story, and her character design is really cool. Also, another thing that I did for this is, since they are in a pond, I like made their hair look kind of flatter, just to show like that it's wet, even though I could have added some more to that. Something that I do off camera as well is I add some white outlines here and there, just to like distinguish each thing and make things pop. Also to add droplets on the leaves falling, just to add more movement to the whole illustration, because everything was a bit too still. So here is the finished drawing, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it's shorter. And I hope you have a nice day and night. So it's the same as always, right? Bye! Hope you enjoy yourself today or something, I don't know.